If you follow me or have watched my videos for a while, you would know I have a bit of a complicated relationship with ITZY. I was a casual closeted fan during ITZY era, but became a very public supporter around Not Shy. It's no secret, ITZY has fallen from their 4th gen leader pedestal they once stood upon earlier in their career, but that's a topic for a different video. So after a back-to-back lackluster run in 2025 and a general string of misses, ITZY came back with their newest album, Motto. How does it hold up? Hey guys, I hope you're doing good. Today we have the second installment in an accidental JYP Girls Week. As you can assume by the title and intro, we are going to be talking about ITZY's newest comeback with Motto. The album was released on May 18th, 2026. It consists of 8 songs and runs about 24 minutes. Curiously, this album follows the current 4th gen trend I pointed out about having member solos within the group album. ITZY previously dipped their toes into this back in 2024's Born to Be, so let's see if the songs are good, bad, or worse than they've been recently. Starting off with Motto. Opening up the album, we have its title track, Motto, an empowering anthem about choosing self-confidence over doubt, moving forward fearlessly, and celebrating the deep bond between the group and MIDZY. In alignment with ITZY's core concept of self-love established during their 2019 debut, Motto feels like a return to form. According to Leah, the song encourages listeners to march forward and trust their own personal motto rather than falling into hesitation or self-doubt. While previous tracks focus purely on individual confidence, Motto shifts the narrative to acknowledge the driving force behind that confidence. The central lyric, "You are my motto," feels like a direct message of gratitude to MIDZY. The group frames their fans as a lighthouse of sorts that has guided them through their journey, transforming the phrase motto into a symbol of mutual loyalty, inspiration, and shared strength. Musically, Motto represents a significant sonic evolution for ITZY, shifting away from their historically fierce, brassy, and rap-heavy title tracks toward a more melodic and nostalgic yet vocal-centric sound. It blends the group's signature energy with sophisticated electronic structures to create an immersive summer anthem. Unlike the aggressive hip-hop beats or high-intensity cheer pop of their early career, Motto is anchored in new disco and synthpop. The track utilizes deep reverb and atmospheric synth pads to create a beautiful dreamlike multi-dimensional soundscape. The underlying bass line is built on a groovy, danceable disco rhythm that keeps the song moving forward with a wistful yet celebratory undertone. One of my favorite parts of the song is that it defies the modern K-pop trend of microsongs that clock in under 2.5 minutes. Motto embraces a fully realized classic song structure. The track runs well over 3 minutes and allows the musical ideas to naturally breathe and grow. It features a dreamy, slow-building introductory verse, traditional, distinct pre-chorus that builds tension, a fully fleshed-out multi-part chorus, and a distinct, sweeping bridge that leads into an intensified final chorus stacked with high notes. While the track is highly energetic, the instrumentation utilizes contrast to build impact. The verses are intentionally kept slower and more ethereal, which makes the explosion of energy in the chorus feel significantly more rewarding. The final outro purposefully amps up instrumentation, delivering a heavy, triumphant payoff that mirrors the track's lyrical message of marching forward with confidence. If it's not clear already, I love this song. Their last few singles haven't really been for me. Actually, their past few albums haven't been for me, and I haven't really shied away from expressing it on the channel. But to me, this is a great step in the right direction. For additional context, I hadn't bought an ITZY album since Gold. I'll probably order Girls Will Be Girls and Tunnel Vision just so I can complete my collection, but something told me to pre-order this one and I'm glad I did. I hope they're able to keep this going with their next release cause it's really good. Glitch. Up next we have Glitch, an empowering track about embracing flaws, imperfection, and general nonconformity. Rather than viewing a system error or a miscode as a failure, the song reframes it as a unique, beautiful singularity that breaks a repetitive, calculated reality. The lyrics use digital and tech metaphors such as shattered pixels, nanopixels, and calculated errors to represent societal expectations. The central phrase, "Hey, miscode my type," serves as a proud declaration. The members sing about loving the imperfect, unpredictable parts of themselves, choosing to stand out as a one-of-a-kind spark, rather than blending into a flawless but boring system. While the title track deals with looking outward to find strength and community, Glitch is entirely introspective. The lyrics describe facing oneself inside shattered pixels, painting the moment someone wakes up to their raw hidden emotions. It encourages listeners to let go of control and ride the chaotic yet thrilling distortion of time and space to discover who they truly are. Musically, Glitch functions as a high-octane contrast to the title track's smooth new disco sound. It heavily leans into experimental, electronic, and hyperpop adjacent textures featuring abrupt sonic shifts, punchy bass lines, and dynamic beat drops. The chaotic musical architecture sonically mimics the literal feeling of a digital glitch, matching the rebellious, explosive energy of the lyrics. Personally, I really enjoyed this one as well. The intro immediately caught my attention, and the sometimes choppy layered vocals really sold the experience for me. This is the type of experimental I can get behind. You and I. Continuing in a similar vein, we have You and I, a more playful, tech-inspired track about the modern complexities of analyzing, predicting, and expressing romantic love. The central concept of the track revolves around trying to translate raw, unpredictable human emotions into neat digital data. The repetitive chorus uses digital metaphors like "can you type a love" and "can you make a love emoji," depicting the habit of modern romance being built through text characters, screen interactions, and emoji selections. The lyrics dive into the psychological side of modern dating, specifically the desire to anticipate a partner's feelings. The lines like "check it once, roll it back, straight away simulate each thing one by one" paint a picture of overanalyzing interactions. It represents trying to run continuous simulations or algorithms in one's head to avoid making a mistake or getting hurt. Despite the technical terminology, the core message of the song emphasizes that love cannot be completely calculated. During the bridge, the vocals shift to declare that LOVE is an uncooling principle operating with high energy. The members conclude that no matter how many times their feelings get tangled or the system breaks, the desire to connect and understand love overrides the fear of a glitch. Musically, You and I contrast sharply with the sweeping new disco elements of Motto and the chaotic hyperpop elements of Glitch, leaning instead into a sleek, up-tempo, and rhythmically complex dance pop sound that mirrors the fast-paced nature of digital romance. To sonically convey the song's focus on coding, data, and emojis, the production heavily incorporates chiptune-adjacent synth textures. These bright, pixelated electronic sound effects are layered over a crisp, computerized 808 bassline, giving the arrangement an aesthetic that feels like a high-speed video game or digital simulation. Unlike the long, flowing melodic lines of Motto, the vocal arrangement in You and I relies on staccato delivery and sharp syncopated phrasing. The verses and chorus mimic the quick, rhythmic tapping of typing on a keyboard or phone screen. This structural choice cleverly connects the musical performance to the lyrical concept of trying to type out and calculate love. While the verses are punchy and textured, the production smooths out during the chorus. It transitions into clean, beautifully stacked vocal harmonies that showcase the group's cohesive vocal blending. This sudden shift from rigid synthetic rhythms to lush human harmonies act as a musical representation of genuine human emotion breaking through a cold digital interface. I feel like I just went English teacher on you guys again, like I did with my Misamo review. I was genuinely shocked at how much I liked this track. On my initial listen, I was a bit perplexed and confused, but honestly, I think good music and art in general make you think. So diving deeper into this song made me really appreciate the nuances and intricacies of the production, to the point where it's now one of my favorites on the album, as I think you could tell. Pocket. Yeji. Moving on to the second half of the album, we have the member solos. Starting us off is Yeji with Pocket, a high-energy track centered around intense romantic fascination, possessiveness, and magnetic attraction. The core metaphor of the track stems from the idiomatic phrase, to have someone in your pocket. Yeji uses this concept as an intimate, protective space to keep someone precious completely close to her heart. The hook, "Baby you're in my pocket and nobody gets you out of me," represents an underlying desire to claim and protect a connection so deeply that it becomes an inseparable part of her. Lyrically, the song portrays Yeji as a confident, proactive individual pursuing someone who stands out from the crowd. Striking lines like, "when you pop out, you got a different kind of aura," and "once I get something in my hands, I don't let go cause I want you," highlight a theme of absolute certainty. Rather than being passive, she embraces the thrill of the chase, noting that because the person isn't easy to win over, it makes the game so much more enticing. As the song progresses, the narrative shifts towards creating an isolated world just for the two of them. In the verses, she sings about filtering out all exterior noise, distractions, and outside opinions, saying, "They be calling and calling, but I don't need it. Other than you and me here, delete everything else." By declaring, "You cannot exit from my zone," she firmly locks down her focus on this person and their relationship. Musically, the foundation of the track merges nostalgic, not shy era western ambiance mixed with guitar and modern heavy hybrid trap elements. To maintain cohesion with the technical themes present across the Motto EP, Pocket layers cyberpunk adjacent synthesizer programming beneath its core dance rhythm. These metallic, buzzy, and futuristic synth accents swirl through the background of the verses, reinforcing a moody, high-stakes atmosphere before the track explodes. It feels like a pattern at this point, but I really like the song. It's really catchy and addictive. My one, I can't say problem because I have no evidence to support this, but I wish this song was in her solo album. It feels like it was held from us. Granted, I don't know when this song was written and produced. It could have been after her solo for all I know, but I still mourn what could have been. Asylum, Leah. Up next, we have what I believe to be a fan favorite, Leah's Asylum, a deeply personal and emotional rock ballad. The song departs from the group's typical themes of fierce independence to explore vulnerability, trust, and the longing for a safe emotional sanctuary. The title Asylum is used in its truest sense, a place of safety, shelter, or retreat. Lyrically, the song tackles the overwhelming weight of overthinking and mental noise. Leah sings about looking for a quiet space away from a loud, chaotic world using lines like, "Baby, can you speak those words till my mind goes quiet? You're the only weight that's on my chest right now," to describe a partner or a space that serves as her ultimate comfort. In contrast to ITZY's overarching I Choose Myself group motto, Asylum embraces the beauty of leaning on someone else. The track depicts an intense, sentimental bond where she is willing to give up everything for a love that feels like home. This is captured in the central chorus lyric, "If you give me your asylum, then I'll give you anything, and I'd lose it all on you tonight." Unlike tracks that feature grand romantic gestures, Asylum is written to feel like a private late-night conversation. Leah treats her love like a quiet truth, admitting her fears and anxieties in the opening of the song, saying, "Think I'm afraid to feel this, and even when I'm in my head, you fix it in a heartbeat," letting her guard down completely. Asylum marks the most dramatic genre departure on the Motto EP. It abandons the computerized synths, hybrid trap, and dance pop found elsewhere on the project to deliver a raw, guitar-driven Y2K alternative rock ballad. Because the theme centers on emotional raw honesty, the song is built specifically around Leah's warm, delicate, and sentimental vocal tone. It gives her the space to deliver deep emotional resonance that balances the high-octane energy of the rest of the album. The track is built on a foundation of melancholic acoustic guitar strumming and crisp electric guitar riffs that echo the late 90s and early 2000s alt-pop/rock era. As the song progresses, a sweeping cinematic string arrangement blends with a heavy drum kit to elevate the emotional gravity of the track. Structurally, the song operates as a classic slow burner. It begins incredibly stripped back, focusing almost entirely on Leah's bare voice over a solitary guitar melody. This minimalist production gradually layers instruments one by one through the pre-chorus, leading into a massive, soaring rock anthem crescendo during the chorus that highlights the emotional release of the lyrics. Personally, I love a ballad. If you've seen my videos before, you know I'm a sucker for slowing things down and stripping it back. Leah's tone and delivery on this song were stellar, so I can definitely see why it's popular. The message and overall theme of the song feel very relatable to me as an anxious overthinker, so it felt like she made this song for me, y'all. No notes. Look, Ryujin. Returning to our regularly scheduled programming, we have Look by Ryujin. The track is built entirely around the concept of sight, attention, and perception. Ryujin uses the hook, "Look, I'm a danger, don't touch it, bring it, show it, watch it," as a warning and an invitation. It represents the overwhelming power of her girl crush appeal, establishing her as someone so magnetically captivating that she is inherently thrilling and dangerous to watch. The lyrics heavily rely on stage and contrast imagery, using words like flashlight and blacklight. This creates a sonic setting of a dark runway or a high-stakes performance space where she is completely in control of the atmosphere, forcing anyone in her presence to drop everything and simply watch her move. The track reflects a person who eagerly embraces the heavy expectations and sharp gazes directed toward a charismatic outer persona, while simultaneously guarding the inner self that exists beyond the camera flashes. Sonically, Look is a sharp, performance-driven track with a notably short, hyper-focused runtime of just 2 minutes and 6 seconds. The sonic landscape completely strips away the pop sweetness of the album to deliver a gritty, raw, urban sound. The track is tailored explicitly to Ryujin's signature deep vocal tone. Instead of relying on traditional singing melodies, she plays around with the beats, delivering sharp, rhythmic half-song, half-rap phrasing that mirrors her precise, powerful hip-hop dancing style. If I'm honest, I wasn't really expecting to like this song because I'm not typically a fan of the individual aspects that comprise it. The talk rapping in some songs can get annoying at times, the repetitive lyrics can also be tiresome, but here, combined with Ryujin's charisma, the song surprisingly works for me. I can't quite put my finger on why, but it really does. Undefined, Chaeryeong. Our second to last song is Chaeryeong's Undefined, a sophisticated track exploring themes of complex relationships, personal identity, and self-discovery. In the song, the narrator is navigating a complicated dynamic with another person. The lyrics repeatedly ask questions like how did we get so close, and express frustration over mixed signals with lines like, so just try to waste my time. The relationship is undefined, lacking clear boundaries, labels, or simple explanations. On a deeper level, the track captures the psychological weight of dealing with the unknown. The narrative captures the internal struggle of searching for clarity in a situation, or world, that feels inherently ambiguous and confusing. Beyond the romantic or interpersonal friction, the song serves as a personal anthem for growth. By rejecting rigid labels and embracing the state of being undefined, the lyrics detail a pushback against outside expectations. It transitions from a story of feeling lost into a narrative of personal empowerment and reclaiming one's time and identity. Moving away from the aggressive trap elements of the previous solo tracks, Undefined drops into a smooth, mid-tempo R&B groove. It features lush, jazzy chord progressions, deep bass lines, and a mature, sultry, and mysterious atmosphere. The vocal arrangement highlights Chaeryeong's delicate, whispery, and agile vocal tone. The mixing leans heavily into airy falsettos and layered background harmonies, allowing her to coast effortlessly over the beat to sonically mimic the concept of floating weightlessly outside of boundaries. Similarly to her previous solo, I really like it. I feel this jazzy vibe really suits her voice and persona. It's also a refreshing change both from the general feel of the album, but from general idol music. I hope that if she does a solo, she leans into this sound more. Another great track. Tangerine, Yuna. Closing out the album, we have Tangerine by Yuna, a soft and nostalgic city pop adjacent track about hidden feelings. Lyrically, Tangerine is a story about being completely unable to get one specific night out of your head. Yuna sings from the perspective of someone looking back at a city where the air has shifted and the night is washed in a warm, tangerine-colored light. The song captures the bittersweet ache of trying to recall the exact texture, warmth, and emotion of a fleeting romantic connection. The tangerine serves as a metaphor for a crush or intense emotions that are bursting at the seams but impossible to hide. It represents a scenario where someone is completely overwhelmed by their feelings for another person, yet they find themselves frozen or unable to actually articulate and confess those feelings aloud, fearing they would grow cold or be unrequited. In spite of her doubts, she ultimately decides to trust her instincts and move forward fearlessly. The orange, tangerine hue serves as a visual metaphor for warmth, youth, and vibrant energy breaking through a heavy or melancholic state of mind. Sonically, the track leans completely into retro city pop and synthwave. It features a prominent groovy bass line, crisp percussion, and shimmering nostalgic 80s synthesizer melodies that evoke the feeling of a late night drive through a neon-lit cityscape. My favorite vibe. The vocal production moves away from aggressive K-pop chanting or heavy compression. Instead, it utilizes a breezy, melodic, and relaxed vocal delivery. Yuna uses her sweet, clear register to effortlessly glide over the beat, making the song feel incredibly light and atmospheric. As a final track on the Motto EP, the smooth, open-air city pop production of Tangerine provides a comforting, satisfying conclusion to the album. It functions as a soothing wind-down after the high BPM electronic landscapes and industrial trap loops of the previous tracks. This is all my favorite things rolled into one. My only problem with it, if you can even call it that, is that, like Yeji's, I wish this was on her mini-album. I feel it would have blended seamlessly and helped elongate the runtime of the project, but at the same time, I like the way it winds down this album. Still, another great song. Final album thoughts. This album genuinely feels like the moment everything clicked into place. For the first time in a long time, I walked away from an ITZY project feeling completely satisfied from beginning to end. Not just because there were standout songs, but because every track felt intentional and, for the most part, connected to a larger artistic vision. Motto doesn't feel like random trends stitched together to chase streams. It feels like a carefully constructed body of work that understands exactly what ITZY is, what each member brings to the table, and how to evolve their sound without losing their identity in the process. What impressed me most is how balanced the album is sonically. The first half thrives in this futuristic digital pop world with songs like Motto, Glitch, and You and I, all exploring technology, distortion, connection, and self-expression through completely different sonic approaches. Even though the production style varies from new disco to hyperpop to sleek dance pop, the tracks still feel like they belong together because the album maintains this underlying futuristic atmosphere throughout. Then, the second half shifts into the member solos, and instead of feeling disconnected from the project, each solo feels like an extension of the album's emotional or sonic DNA. That's a really difficult thing to pull off in my opinion, especially on a group album with solos. And honestly, this might be the first time I felt like JYP fully understood every single member individually and gave them material that genuinely suited them. Not just conceptually, but vocally and emotionally too. Yeji's Pocket captured her intensity and charisma perfectly with that confident, almost predatory energy. Leah's Asylum was tailor-made for her warm emotional tone and allowed her vulnerability to shine in a way ITZY songs rarely do. Ryujin's look leaned completely into her effortless cool factor and commanding stage presence without feeling forced. Chaeryeong's Undefined gave her space to explore a more mature, atmospheric, and elegant sound that fits her so naturally, and Yuna's Tangerine might honestly be one of the best uses of her voice and image yet. That nostalgic city pop sound feels like something she was born to perform. What makes this album more satisfying is that none of the solos feel like filler or afterthoughts. Sometimes member solos on group albums can feel like obligatory additions just to fit with the trend, but here, they actively strengthen the album. Each one reveals a different emotional or stylistic layer of ITZY while still maintaining the overarching theme of identity, individuality, uncertainty, confidence, and emotional connection. That balance between individuality and cohesion is what makes Motto work so well. I also think this is the strongest example yet of ITZY maturing without abandoning themselves. A lot of groups hit a point in their career where maturing just means stripping away personality to chase minimalism or trends. And I do feel to a certain extent, ITZY fell into something like this for a few releases, but Motto still feels distinctly ITZY. The confidence is still there, and so is the boldness and experimentation. The difference is that now it feels more refined, more focused and emotionally aware. Instead of trying to constantly prove how loud or powerful they are, the album allows the members to settle into themselves naturally. And that's why I titled this video what I did. They finally delivered an album that to me feels fully realized from top to bottom. No major skips, no huge tonal whiplash, and no moments where I'm questioning why a song was included. Just a genuinely strong, cohesive project that understands the group's strengths and uses them to their fullest potential. After being pretty critical of their recent output, I can honestly say this album reminded me why I fell in love with ITZY in the first place. If this is the direction they're moving in, I genuinely think they're entering one of the most exciting eras of their career. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Click that bell icon so you're notified every time I post a video. Tell me in the comments down below, what did you think of the album and which solo was your favorite? Remember that I love you all so much, and I'll see you guys on Monday with a special announcement. Bye!